If there's anything I want us to take from this, is that we shouldn't take up quarrel that is not our own. Don't do that, because at the end of the day, hey, they might put you in their middle, and you now ask yourself that, why did I even meditate? Why did I even put my mouth in this business? Why did I put my mouth in this quarrel? You'll be asking yourself. So don't take up quarrel, or don't take up disagreement that is not your own. So I'm going to just be reading the first 12 verses of Proverbs chapter 26. Then I'll tell you some of the verses that I highlighted. So I'm going to be reading this in the contemporary English version. If you were with me last time in Proverbs chapter 25, I talked about the contemporary English version. So let's read Proverbs chapter 26 in the contemporary English version. Don't be a fool. Expecting snow in summer and rain in the dry season makes more sense than honoring a fool. A curse you don't deserve will take wings and fly away like a sparrow or a swallow. Horses and donkeys must be beaten and bridled, and so must fools. Don't make a fool of yourself by answering a fool. But if you answer any fool, show how foolish they are so they won't feel smart. Sending a message by a fool is like chopping off your foot just to spite yourself. A fool with words of wisdom is like an athlete with legs that can't move. Are you going to honor a fool? Why not just shoot a slingshot with the rock tied tight? A thorn bush waved around in the hand of a drunkard is no worse than a proverb in the mouth of a fool. It's no smarter to shoot arrows at every passerby than it is to hire a bunch of worthless nobodies. Dogs return to eat their vomit just as fools repeat their foolishness. There is more hope for a fool than for someone who says, I'm really smart. Don't be lazy and keep saying, there's a lion outside. A door turns on its hinges, but a lazy man just turns over in bed. Some of us are so lazy that we won't lift a hand to feed ourselves. A lazy person says, I am smarter than everyone else. It is better to take hold of a mad dog by the ears than to take part in someone else's argument. It's no crazier to shoot sharp and flaming arrows than to cheat someone and say, I was only fooling where there is no fuel. A fire goes out where there is no gossip. Arguments come to an end. Troublemakers start trouble just as sparks and fuel start a fire. This is the longest I have read in my review. Like, I literally read verses 1 to 21, and Proverbs has 28 verses. In chapters 26, Solomon actually highlights the ways of the fool and what we are to avoid, and he tells us some of the fool's ways and what we are supposed to stay clear as believers, as humans generally. So in Proverbs chapter 26 verse 1 to 11, it gives us a long list of reasons why the way of the fool is not a way to follow, or why the way of the fool is hopeless. Verse 12 says, do you see a man wise in his own eyes and conceit? There is more hope for a self-confident fool than for him. You see, that's why it is very important for us not to overestimate ourselves. The truth is that we will always act like a self-confident fool when we are wise in our own conceit, and that is why it is important for us to never overestimate ourselves. It's okay for you to be confident. It's okay for you to build yourself in that place where you are really self-confident. But in your self-confidence, you need to know where to draw the line and say, in my confidence, I don't want to overestimate myself. I rather put myself in a position where people can be shocked, in quotes, when they come in contact with me. Verses 11 says, as a dog returns to his own vomit, so a fool repeats his folly. A lot of times we always wait for situations to happen to us for us to learn lessons, which is not bad. But at the same time, we can always look at other people's situation to learn from their mistakes. And we must, this verse, Solomon is just saying that a fool would return back to its vomit. A fool would repeat that mistake over and over again. And he's saying one of the things that you must avoid repeating mistakes. Something has happened before, and instead of you learning from it, you want to repeat it again. Like, why? I know that we humans can be amazing, in quotes, but Solomon is just re-emphasizing the fact that you don't have to always repeat mistakes. You don't repeat mistakes. You must learn from your mistakes. We must learn from the situation of others. A lot of times we can learn from the situation of others. People have made mistakes, and instead of us saying, okay, let me do it this way because I know that I'm different from this person, I have a different personality, it will work for me. The fact that this person has made mistake is something for us to learn from. And Solomon is just saying, don't repeat mistakes. We need to always ask ourselves, what are the things that I need to do better? Or what are the things I need to change so that I don't repeat this mistake, so that I don't repeat this thing. And it's very important for us to learn from our mistakes. The foolish man will just hear danger coming, but will still stay. A foolish man will know that this thing I'm doing is going to bring a negative, it's going to bring consequences that are not good, but he will still want to do that thing. I think I want to end with verses 17 that says, it is better to take hold of a mad dog by the ears than to take part in someone else's argument. When I read this, what else came to my mind is people that like to, should I say, not covet, people that like to take on people's fights. Now you have a friend, you have two people, you know two people, and you are mutual friends with them, and this person comes to meet you and says, oh, this person did this to me and I didn't like it. Instead of you hearing the other person's part, you decide to take the fight from A and then start fighting with that person. And this is just saying, don't take part in someone else's argument. This is not your argument. This is not your fight. It's okay for you to find a way to mend the relationship between the two, but it is not your place to take up that argument. It says that it is better to take hold of a mad dog by the ears than to take part in someone else's argument. Even though your person is your best friend, don't take on that person's fight. Don't do that. Don't inherit somebody else's fight. Leave them to fight their fight. Leave them to settle their discourse, and you just be on the mutual ground. If this person comes to report to you, encourage that person. If this other person comes to report to you, encourage that person, but don't take up somebody else's fight. Don't take up somebody else's argument. And verses 20 says, where there is no fear, a fire goes out. Where there is no gossip, arguments come to an end. One of the things that gossip will do to you is to keep building walls. And the people that you are gossiping about, or the person that you are gossiping about, you're making that person vulnerable. I think I mentioned this in my last video. So it says that where there is no gossip, arguments come to an end. Cease from gossiping. I'm also talking to myself, like, because I know that it's very hard. It's very hard to stay without talking about another person, but we must learn. We must be intentional about not doing that. And finally, this one is very funny to me. That is verses 28. I kind of feel that it's very funny, but I think it's actually the truth. He says, watch out for anyone who tells lies and flatters. They are out to get you. So those people that used to flatter, watch out for them. Avoid them by all means. Those people that you can see the path of lies. You can see the boxes of lies that they have cooked up for you. Those kind of people, avoid them. When I listen to people, I kind of listen with an open mind. I'm not thinking that this person is lying to me or this person is saying anything to me. And maybe I can go to another person and say, oh, this person said this person is doing this. And that other person is trying to tell me that, no, that's not true. That person was actually lying to you. I'm always livid. I'm always in shock. I'm always like, did that person just lie to me? So someone is saying, avoid those people that used to lie. Avoid people that are flatters. You see those people that used to lie and flatter, especially when they're lying to your face and they're flattering you. Stay clear from them because they're out to get you. It's actually funny. I mean, people that have a lot of sweet words in their mouth, you don't know when they're saying the truth. You don't know when they're just maybe they're even mocking you in the process. And Solomon is just saying, avoid those people, just avoid them. So I'm going to end this video here, but just to do a recap of what we talked about. In chapter 26, Solomon is just telling us to avoid the ways of the fool, and he highlights these ways from verses 1 to 11. And one of the things I highlighted from what he said is that we must avoid making mistakes. And when we make mistakes, we should learn from our mistakes. And he also says that we should avoid gossip. This chapter also talks about the fact that we must not take somebody else's argument. I just checked NIV for that Proverb chapter 26 verse 17, and it says, like one who grabs a stray dog by the ears is someone who rushes into a quarrel not their own. You have your best friends and you want to fight for your best friend. But this scripture is saying, don't rush into a quarrel that is not your own. Like, don't do it. Your friend might be correct. Don't put your mouth in what does not concern you. Like, drink your water and stay clear. That is what basically that verse is saying. If there's anything I want us to take from this, is that we shouldn't take up quarrel that is not our own. Don't do that, because at the end of the day, hey, they might put you in their middle, and you now ask yourself that, why did I even meditate? Why did I even put my mouth in this business? Why did I put my mouth in this quarrel? You'll be asking yourself. So don't take up quarrel, or don't take up disagreement that is not your own. Thank you guys for staying to the end of this video. I will see you in chapters 27.